Thank you very much. I was reading an article yesterday about big investment themes and how to make money out of them. And it said that the big theme for the past 10 years was digitization, but that the big theme for the next 10 years is going to be decarbonization of the planet. And it went on to say that one of the ways to make money out of this new theme is to invest in mining companies. That's because mining companies are required to deliver the essential commodities to deliver the decarbonisation outcome. So that's great news for all of you because you're resources investors, and it's great news for St. George because we have one of those essential commodities, and that's nickel sulphide. That is a drill core up there on the screen, high-grade nickel copper sulphides. XRF gun tells us it's about 7% nickel, 5% copper. We're still waiting for the assays, but that's the kind of stuff that the big investment theme is going to want over the next 10 years. So our project is in Western Australia, just southwest of the Agnew-Wiluna belt, where BHP has its flagship mines. Western Areas is developing its Odysseus mine at the Cosmos complex. So established mining territory, great platform to be developing our own project. We have very unique mineralization, high-grade nickel, high-grade copper, high-grade cobalt, and high-grade platinum group elements, mostly palladium. It's about 80% palladium, and a bit of rhodium in there, both of which are trading at record highs. So it's a very unique mineralization. We've done some preliminary met testing. We know it can produce saleable concentrates at very high grades, 18% nickel concentrate, 32% copper concentrate. So it's terrific mineralization. So we're in a tier 1 mining jurisdiction, a great platform to be taking a project forward. We've made 4 discoveries across the east-west cathedrals belt, the Stricklands, cathedrals, investigators and radar deposits. That's a sample of the drill intersection, so some wonderful mineralization. The deposits are near surface, start 30 meters from surface, but they're relatively small in scale. It doesn't mean you can't make money out of them because they're so shallow, 30 meters below surface, so they can still be economic. But the real key is trying to find the big deposit at depth. The fact that we've got such a big strike length does suggest that we're going to have something at depth as well. And 2 weeks ago we had our MAD 199 discovery, which I'll tell you a little bit more soon, but that's the one that's kind of confirmed that we will have something more at depth. Electromagnetic surveys are the go-to tool for finding nickel sulfides. They will light up the nickel sulfide as conductors, and then you go and drill them. But they can't reliably see at depth. They can probably only reliably see 250 to 300 meters below surface. We've zapped our cathedrals belt with a very powerful EM, so we pretty much know what's in that top area. But the key is what's below that. We know from other miners, successful miners like IGO at Nova Bollinger and Talon mines up at Tamarack in the USA, that they can't see their mineralization that's 300 meters below surface. We did something called a magnetotelluric and audio-magnetotelluric survey last year that mapped the conductive structures going quite deep, past 1.5 kilometers below surface. So they don't map the mineralization as such, but they map the intrusive structures that potentially host the mineralization. So that told us that there is a very big intrusive system here. We started poking holes into this intrusive system to see if we could find the mineralization. All holes intersected these prospective intrusive rocks, so big tick there. They hit some weak mineralization, so again a big tick. It is fertile for mineralization, but we hadn't found the high-grade material that we want to find to make an economic discovery. The petrographic analysis of the rocks is telling us that the host rocks are gabbronorite. That's a fantastic outcome because that's the kind of host rock for major intrusive style deposits in Western Australia, like Nova Bollinger, like Savannah, like Nebo Babel. So we could see from the drilling last year that we had all the essential ingredients to find big mineralization at depth, but we hadn't done that until we drilled MAD 199 about 3 weeks ago. That was the big breakthrough, very, very pleasing discovery. 330 meters down hole, we hit a high-grade massive nickel copper sulfides. That was the drill core on the cover page of our presentation. So we proved the concept. There is high-grade mineralization at depth. And typically with intrusive style deposits, which is what we have, you will find more mineralization at depth. There's potential for bigger accumulations down there. So it's a great result. It gives us confidence that there will be more down there. We already have identified some EM conductors through downhole EM surveys. So we are feeling pretty confident that there'll be more mineralization down there in the belt. Apart from not being able to see past 300 meters below surface, EM doesn't always work when you've got conductive cover. So out of the West End prospect, we did see some conductive cover. So if I go back to this map here, investigators to radar, EM worked fantastic. We made our shallow discoveries there. It's proved a fantastic tool. But out here over in the west part of the area, where the West End target is, we have conductive cover, paleo channel cover. It interferes with the EM signal and we couldn't really see anything. So we rolled out a new geophysical survey, a gravity survey, and so far it's looking pretty good. A number of gravity highs were recorded in the survey. Gravity highs identified dense rocks. Massive sulphides are dense rocks. Intrusive rocks are also dense rocks, denser than the granite that surrounds them. So what the gravity survey is telling us that there is something quite prospective out here at West End. Some of the mineralization that we've drilled at investigators was seen by the gravity survey as well, so it's kind of validated the fact that it is seeing the mineralization. So all of a sudden we've got these beautiful gravity targets that we're going to line up for drilling and potentially making another discovery out west. When you compare our belt to other world-class nickel sulphide camps, it's quite easy to see how you can fit a really world-class discovery in our area. So I'm not sure how well you can see that up on the screen, but that's basically the footprint of some of the world-class mining camps for nickel in the world. Nova Bollinger is up there on the second one. The other ones are in North America, and Raglan down the bottom is also in Canada. So you can see in the sort of scale of the footprints, this is a one-to-one comparison, that the kind of world-class deposits that have been discovered elsewhere could easily fit into our Cathedrals Belt area. And that's what we're trying to prove up with the greater drilling that we're doing. We're very confident we could be able to transition to a mine. We've done a resource drill out of the shallow Stricklands deposit, so it's just a small deposit near surface, 30 meters below surface, so it's not the full extent of the mineralization, but we think it's something that we can monetize with very low capex, $3 to $5 million to drill it, dig it up and start producing some cash flow. We're getting metallurgical test work done out of Canada. XPS, a subsidiary of Glencore, does similar mineralization to ours, the suite of nickel, copper, cobalt and platinum group metals. They're experts at that. We're getting the work done over there. We want to make sure we can extract the maximum value from our mineralization, which we think is roughly double the value of a plain nickel sulphide deposit. Preliminary results are extremely good, getting high concentrates and also importantly high PGE returns. And most importantly, this stuff is produced from just a conventional flotation circuit. So this is green nickel. We're not using any carbon-intensive electricity to produce this nickel. This is green nickel. So that's the Mount Alexander project, which is delivering great results and it's got us all the attention in the market so far. We do have another project coming on stream. We pegged this ground up at the Paterson province. A little while ago, it was granted 12 months ago. We've just announced it through our quarterly so far, but now we're getting ready to drill it, so we're going to tell you a lot more about it. The boys are up there at site today doing the heritage survey. We've been waiting to do the heritage survey. Once that is done, we're free to start drilling. So hopefully we'll be drilling by the end of the month. Paterson province, in case some of you don't know, is basically the hottest exploration frontier in Australia today. Rio Tinto made the Winu discovery about 2 years ago and building it into a world-class deposit. Newcrest and Greatland Gold have the Havieron big deposit. Rio Tinto has already joint ventured with our two neighbours up there, Antipa and Sipa Resources. We're up there probably as the only 100% owned ground in the region. So we think it's a great address and we're getting ready to drill it very soon. We've done some geophysical surveys up there, so we can do those before the heritage survey is done, both a gravity survey and an aeromagnetic survey. and it's come up with some really, really nice geophysical signatures, which our team believe are prospective for copper and gold. It's quite technical. If you want a bit more on that, please come to our booth. Both our consultant technical guys are here, Dave O'Neill and Charles Wilkinson. They can take you through that. But we think this is highly prospective for a copper gold discovery. Start drilling at the end of the month. Watch this space. This could become just as good as Mount Alexander very, very soon. Quick snapshot on our corporate overview. The main thing on this page is our capital raising. We just finished a capital raising announced on Monday. We raised $7 million at 8.2 cents. Share price is about 9.5 cents at the moment, so we're holding firm, and hopefully we can deliver some great news with all that money and lots more drilling to keep the share price driving up. We had a very good response from private client desks of our two brokers, Argonaut and Canaccord, but we also got some global institutions and Australian institutions supporting us who can see the upside of a nickel project like ours. That's a graph of our share price mapped against the nickel price. Traditionally, we have been quite closely correlated. There was a bit of a disconnect last year around December. The drilling we did last year didn't really deliver sort of the headline news that the market wanted. We didn't hit our massive nickel sulphide, so I think we dropped away a little bit from the nickel price, which is just charging ahead. But I think we're poised to recover that bit of a value gap there, which we're going to close with ongoing drilling and news flow. We're big believers in nickel and the upswing in the nickel market. The EV is growing the demand for nickel. Stainless steel is still growing, so that's generating strong demand, but EV is coming out of left field and creating a lot of demand for nickel. There are other battery chemistries out there, but if you have a look at the gigafactories and megafactories for batteries currently being built, they're all being designed for the nickel-rich batteries. So we're very, very confident the deficit is going to increase, how the nickel price will just have to respond and go up. The EV strength is coming out of China and Europe. Europe is actually leading the charge at the moment. Yes, they do have subsidies over there, which is driving the EV take-up. But as the years progress, EVs will be even cheaper, batteries will be cheaper, and you don't need those subsidies to get that tipping point, price point, where people want to buy those cars anyway. We've become a member of the European Battery Alliance. I want to try and get into that network of stakeholders that is building a battery industry over there and get into the supply chain. We think it's a great growth prospect. So thank you very much. That's the presentation. We're out there in the booth, so if any follow-up questions, lovely to see you later on. Thank you.
Thank you, John.